What's going on, YouTube? So, a couple of people in my chat were wondering, how is Wuthering Waves doing? How is Zenless Zone Zero doing? How is Honkai Star Rail doing? How is Genshin Impact doing in the state of 2025? And I just kind of wanted to go over some projected analytics of general interest amongst the community on the internet, depending on the region. Yes, there's a lot of addendums, there's a lot of classifications for how this information is to be perceived. Do not worry about how well your game is or is not doing according to general interest. It really doesn't matter too much. The only thing that matters is how much you are enjoying the game. So I wanted to go over this, look at some raw statistical data, and let's talk about it a little bit. So there's 4 games that I always like to talk about, and maybe we'll splash in a couple other ones if chat really wants to see it. But we're going to be talking about Google Trends today. Yes, very fun, very cool. And we're going to see how Wuthering Waves is doing. We're going to talk about how Zenless Zone Zero is doing, how Honkai Star Rail is doing, and how Genshin Impact is doing. Now, I would like to really break down the statistical data and what it looks like, but just to get us started, let's go ahead and pull up some information. Okay, great. So what these lines will indicate are going to be the raw statistical data of general interest on the internet on these video games. Yes, the video game tag is tagged right there. That way we know the proper label is being talked about. Okay, so what this means is, are people talking about your game? The green line will be Wuthering Waves. The yellow line will be Zenless Zone Zero. The red line will be something that One Piece and the crew have to overcome. Then you have the blue line, which is Genshin Impact. Okay, so this is United States over the past day. Now, I would like to start off with worldwide first. However, I am of the firm advocacy that I don't really give a fuck what's going on worldwide. I only give a fuck about what's going on in America. However, this is very, very, very interesting. Now, let's talk about why that is. So during the release of 5.2 Natlan, 5.1 Natlan, we can see here that the interest for Genshin Impact, we're going to talk about the blue line first, the interest for Genshin Impact is going downward, downwards, and downwards. Now, blue line for Genshin Impact is currently blowing the fuck up. Yes, Malvika is fucking killing it, as well as Sitlali for general interest. Now, this is where you guys need to take this with a grain of salt. So what you're seeing here is you could perceive this as, wow, Genshin Impact is doing very good. However, I would like to say that this day of the controversy, or this day is actually a spike for controversy, meaning that people are currently talking about Genshin. That does not mean they're talking well about Genshin. Genshin, for you guys, in case you don't know, currently blew up for predatory practices in means of Malvika and Sitlali's banner releasing on the same day and ending on the same day before we get the reward in the second half of the patch. Very not good, as well as the Narrow Marrow situation blowing up. Proof? Okay, I can show you. This is currently timestamped of proof of this, hence by the video of Was I Wrong About the Genshin Impact Content Creators? This is obviously talking about the massive controversy that blew up on that day on January 1st and January 2nd about content creators talking about the banner system. The banner system blew up social media, as well as the Narrow Marrow situation also blowing up and resurfacing once again. So it has been, Genshin has been in a very poor spot for it as far as public perception, PR-wise, has gone. However, there are a lot of people who are also excited about 5.2. So this can be a pros and a cons. If this was good for the game, we will know in about a month. We will see if this this trajectory continues to go upwards or downwards. Currently, it is on a good U pattern. So for Genshin, as far as general interest goes, it is on a good upward trend. I do predict over the next month, it is going to drastically go down and probably hit one of their lower peaks around 29 of the same interest they had on the 14th of November. But we will see this. That's just my opinion. I believe this is a bad spike, but it's up to you to do your own interpretations on the projections of this data. Bad publicity is still publicity. Absolutely, you're absolutely correct, and that's why I have a career in 2025. So now we got Genshin out of the way. This could be looking very good for the game or bad. We're not sure yet. We need more data. And we currently have Wuthering Waves. We're going to get Genshin Impact off this list now because we've kind of talked about it, we've kind of addressed it, and now I really want to laser in on these games. Now, this data is very, very, very interesting. And the reason why this is because Wuthering Waves spiked, and it spiked hard, guys. It spiked hard, overtaking Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail dominantly. Now, I predicted it was going to drop off and continue to drop off fairly significantly afterwards. However, it's not doing that. It fell off, but then it respiked. And this is what I mean. If you looked at the previous data spike for Genshin Impact, it's going to spike up and it's going to go down. And it's going to go down hard. But seeing it spike up, go down, then go back up, this is why all publicity is good publicity. However, good publicity is really good publicity. This shows that people have seen the new product, they gave it a shot, it was reconfirmed to be what people wanted it to be, and now it's respiking again. And it's almost, and what's incredible is, almost near identical spike to the peak. This is something that you do not see very often. This is something that you pretty much see never happen. And for Zenless Zone Zero, for Honkai Star Rail, you don't see that happen until you notice Zenless Zone Zero spike, fall off, then respike once again, and really maintain a higher average than was previously attainable for the previous data graph. And the reason why that is because Zenless Zone Zero had 1.4, had a massive resurgence from 1.4. It reestablished players' interest and faith in the game, and a lot more people are sticking with it. Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves both are in a great spot. Honkai Star Rail is obviously something to worry about because Honkai Star Rail previously was a lot larger and would dumpster Wuthering Waves and would dumpster Zenless Zone Zero. It's currently on a negative trajectory, but we need to see how Enforce instills faith or does not instill faith amongst their players. Here's what I want to say. Wuthering Waves has experienced something astronomical to where the faith in the players and the devs have pretty much never seen anything like this spike, fall, and resurge of this caliber. We have not seen this in all of Wuthering Waves. You can tell this by the previous patch as well. Spike, fall off, nobody gives a shit, right? This is the first real patch where people are like, okay, wait, there's something going on here. Now, obviously, this is all just speculation. I can only tell you what I know, and I'm basing all of this off of public perception and what I see happening online, of which I like to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on in the gacha genre quite vigorously. But Wuthering Waves is in a very good spot. Analytics for Wuthering Waves on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter are through the fucking roof. Every video that's being covered for Wuthering Waves is blowing the fuck up, and PR for this game is astronomical. Honkai Star Rail is also in a bit of, I would say Honkai Star Rail is doing the worst currently. It's still more relevant than Zenless Zone Zero. However, it is more important to only compare how it's doing within itself. And Honkai Star Rail is the lowest it's ever been. 3.0 Amphorius is so damn important. And I can honestly say with 100% assurance that I have no idea what the fuck is going to go on. I am so scared for 3.0's launch, it's actually nuts. I really want to trust the devs, but I'm really worried that the game is going to continue to fall victim to power creep, bullet sponge boss fights, and yapping story quest. But I'm hoping, because I love Honkai Star Rail, I'm hoping that they get their shit together for 3.0 and really deliver a good product. I will probably make a follow-up video on the analytics on that as soon as I can. Zenless Zone Zero has done a great job as well of reestablishing player interest and player faith. These graphs are very good for ZZZ and Wuwa. For Genshin, it's a wait and see. For Honkai Star Rail, it's a wait and see. But for right now, things are really up in the air. I would bet money that surely now Wuthering Waves is going to fall off in interest. But the really important metric that I want to go over is the one that I really care about. Worldwide, I don't care. Full disclosure, I don't really care what's going on in Japan and China. I don't care. The only place I care about is the good old United States of America, because that's where I'm from, and that's where 70% of my audience is from. Let's say how it's doing in the US. It's pretty much fucking identical. ZZZ really doing a great job of not having any significant fall off on any like immediate action. Wuthering Waves' spike is also fucking nuts. I want to get rid of Genshin Impact here. Genshin Impact is also doing great in the US. This is very interesting. It also shows that Honkai Star Rail is doing far better in the US than it's doing in global. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. This is a spike for Wuwa unlike anything we've ever seen. I want to go ahead and check something real quick, and I want to compare Wuwa just to Wuwa. Past year. Damn. So this was the initial spike, and this is normal for every game. This is the spike on launch. This is the fall off 2 months after. This is a pure trajectory up. No other patch has ever reinterested the player base than 2.0 has. This is fucking enormous. I don't think it's going to continue to go up. I don't. But if it did, that would be huge. Let's check Zenless. 1.4 really did some good work. This is the curve that I'm predicting that ZZZ will have in about a month or two. Damn, damn, damn. Gaming right now, gacha right now is really, really, really fucking hot. It is. Let's check Genshin. Yeah. Wow. Let's get rid of Zenless Zone Zero, and let's get rid of Wuthering Waves. It does look like Natlin, once again, is the lowest point for Genshin Impact ever. Hitting a 16. Before the lowest was an 18. Natlin is the lowest it's ever been in Genshin's lifespan. It's hitting a spike right now, but I'm going to predict the next 2 months, we're going to hit a new rock bottom for Genshin. I do. I really do think that. Honkai Star Rail, let's check, is also the lowest it's ever been since launch. Damn, damn, damn. Once again, I would like to restate that all of this is just merely projections on general interest. It doesn't really mean too much, but I do find it compelling enough to talk about and also gauge public interest of the public, as well as what's very important to me, my community. Guys, how are you feeling about Genshin? How are you feeling about Honkai Star Rail? How are you feeling about Zenless? How are you feeling about Wuwa? Leave me a comment on this video, giving all of them your ratings out of 10. I would love to know what you guys think, and leave me as much feedback on why you feel like each game deserves that number. A little bit of homework. Hope you enjoyed. How do you feel about the future of games? Let's talk about it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting the bell for all notifications, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.